What's going on, Rovers? Sam here, back at it again for another video. With another patch coming to a close, y'all already know it's time for an updated tier list. So let's get right into it. All right, as always, we start off with the newest character, and in 2.5, we only had one new character, Furlova. Now, Furlova is really interesting. Design-wise, looks awesome. Liked her lore, liked her part in the story. She is very, very flexible as well. Like, she can be paired with, honestly, a multitude of characters. Gian, Phoebe, obviously Shorekeeper, Cantarella, Rocha, like really, really flexible character. My biggest problem with her is she is very, very, very dependent on her signature weapon. She might be more dependent than quite a few characters. So that's kind of what has me knocking her down a tier. I think if you don't have her weapon, she's not amazing in TOA. She's awesome in Wiwa regardless. Um, so for me, I might get in trouble. She's gonna be like the highest possible S tier. And just to get this out of the way, I'm actually going to put Camellia above her. And I know I'm gonna get roasted, but the reason is Camellia is just so easy to get up and running. Like honestly, one of her best supports, Senhua, is free. So like if you're a new character, you can if you're a new player, you can get Sanwa for free. You can get Verena from your selected 5-star, and then you get Camellia, you have the standard 5-star sword. That team is up and running and ready to go. Whereas like for Lova, ideally you want to get Cantarella, ideally you want to get Rocha, and then you really want to get for Lova's weapon. So I feel like that just for me, I know it's subjective, but it just knocks her down a tier. But both Havoc characters are phenomenal. I would say she's better for TOA. I would say they're very, very close for Wiwa. I just kind of prefer the way Camellia gets ramped up really quickly, and I think she's better at pairing. So for me, holistically, I just give the slightest edge to Camellia. Arena, y'all already know, second best healer in the game. If you have her S2, she's cracked. She can be situationally better than Shorekeeper. The fact that she's a standard 5-star character and it's still SS, crazy. Good work, Wuwa. Not sure how long she'll last, but again, super, super solid character. Uh, Definitely would recommend new players always picking her for the selective 5-star. But yeah, Arena is still SS. Encore, she's A. Encore is, again, another standard 5-star character kind of hanging on. Obviously, pairs really well with, Chen Li and Lupa and Brant per se. But she's solid, really, really solid damage. I still use her because I don't have Brant or I don't have Lupa on my main account. So it's just Chen Li and Encore. She gets the job done. Like the damage isn't insane, but it's sufficient enough to get through a good amount of the content in the game. Calcharo, aka Sephiroth, aka Calculator, solid B. Now, he would be down here, but I'm making an assumption that a lot of gamers, a lot of Wuwa gamers have been around for a while. If you're a new player, he's definitely down here because you really have to understand the nuances of Wuwa's combat. You really have to be quote unquote like an expert of the combat to really maximize his damage. But I would say once you get familiar with him, get familiar with how to like maximize his damage output, he's a B. He's a solid B. I don't see him going any higher. Um, but Winky Face, Wuwa, devs, if you're listening, hey, let's rework some 5-stars. Because I would love to put Kalchar up here. Still one of my favorite characters in the game. Love his design, but again, I just think there's much, much better 5-star DPSs in the game, and they're a lot easier to use. So for me, Mr. Calculators is a solid B. Ketorella, she got a huge uptick. She has her running mate and for Lova, she has finally reached that S tier for me. Uh, the main reason is role consolidation. Coordinated attacker can heal, really solid damage. Obviously, like I said, pairs perfectly with Furlova. So for me, she has moved up. I had her, I believe, A for pretty much every other tier before, but I think now that she has her running mate, she is comfortably in S. Shorekeeper, y'all already know, best character in the game, the only must pull, yada, yada, yada. I will say, and this is probably a good thing, her value has come down just a tinge because now we have 3 teams that really don't need her. You know, for Lova's team with Cantarella and Rocha, obviously doesn't need her. The Hyperfusion team with Lupa, Brant, and Chen Li doesn't need her. Carthathia's team with Chacona and Era Rover doesn't need her. So that's great. I think the fact that there's teams where she's not the best support is good. It's good, but she's still the third character in pretty much every other team uh, besides those three teams. So again, top tier pull priority, top tier character in the game. I don't really see her getting supplanted anytime soon unless there's just an absolutely busted character that comes out in the future. Brant. Brant's moving up for me. I've come around. Again, kind of along the lines of Cantarella, role consolidation, can heal, can shield, pretty good damage dealer. I think of the fusion characters, he probably has the best overall. I don't I guess not pull priority, but like the cost of a pull for Brant is like higher than Chenli and Lupa just because again, role consolidation. So he is expensive, meaning he ideally really does want his weapon, and he's kind of a kind of a difficult build, if you will. But again, I think he's a really solid character. I don't have him. I'm not sure if I ever will, unless he is crazy for Galbrana, because I need Galbrana. But Brant has moved up for me. Jinshi is still S. Now, you could easily make an argument that she's SS. I just feel like if I'm going to go for Spectro DPS, I'm going with Zani every single day because Zani is just better in Wiwa, and she's better, if not like on the same field in TOA. And she I don't know what it is about Zani, but like she just feels beefy and like her auto targeting is insane. I've said this multiple times, but like I could be hitting an enemy over here. I kill that enemy. I tap the mouse, and then Zani's already attacking the enemy over here. I don't know. The auto targeting is insane. So for me, Jinshi is still she's an amazing character. Uh, you know, easily top S. You could put her S plus right under SS. An amazing character. But for me, I just prefer Zani as my Spectro DPS. Carlotta, love Carlotta. I think Carlotta is still easily one of the best DPS in the game. Now, obviously, she's single target based. She's amazing for hologram. She's amazing for TOA. She's solid enough for Wiwa. Obviously, she doesn't have amazing AoE, but like if you position herself and like you line up the enemies, you can knock them out. My biggest problem for her in Wiwa is like she kind of has a long ramp up period, and it really isn't the most ideal. I mean, obviously, and we will I much prefer Zani or Camellia or Gian, but all in all, I think Carlotta is an amazing DPS. Again, another character that's very easy to get up and running. Not quite as easy as Camellia because ideally she does want Zheja, but you can slap the 5-star standard pistols onto her. Use Tao Chi, use Verena. She's rocking and rolling. Peebs. Love Peebs. One of my favorite characters. Super versatile. She can be a really, really solid main DPS. Obviously, really good support DPS for Zani and amazing for exploration. I think with the introduction of Chacona, Phoebe will kind of just chill and kind of just stand the test of time in SS, in my opinion. One of my favorite characters. What can I say? I think she's awesome. Zani, I swear, there's Wuwa just does a really good job of making good characters. Zani for me is SS. Probably my favorite DPS in the game. I know that is subjective, but again, auto targeting is awesome. She is kind of more on the expensive side. You can obviously still use Spectro Rover. Obviously, there's a pretty significant damage drop off, but again, she is so strong. You can get away with using Spectro Rover over Peebs, but ideally you want Peebs. Most of the top DPSs in the game have a 5-star support that's kind of tailored for them. That's just kind of the way Wuwa and unfortunately a lot of gacha games function. But I think Zani damage potential is insane. Mathematically, I don't know if it's the highest, but if not, it's top three, and I don't know if it's three. But uh, amazing character. I really like Broadblade characters in Wuwa. Highly, highly recommend Miss Zani. Chun-Li. God, Ned, again. Chun-Li is tough. You can make an argument here. I still think I'm going to put her high S, and I think we can just talk about Lupa as well. You could make an argument that they're like S plus. I don't know if they would be SS just because I think Brant is kind of the engine and the driver of the fusion team, but Lupa and Chenli are awesome. The the symmetry between these three characters is awesome. The quick swap nature is awesome. How well they flow with each other is great. If you want to go the fusion route, you cannot go wrong. I think Lupa might be a little bit higher over Chenli because Lupa is really good for Encore, so maybe a little bit more universality, if you will, universality, whatever that word is. But yeah, the fusion gang is super super strong. Um, I've just been a little hesitant because I know Galbrena is coming, and I don't know how. I can't imagine that Galbrena is gonna fit with these characters as seamlessly. So that's why I haven't pulled Looper or Brant myself, just because I knew Galbreno was coming. But we'll see. The fusion team is cracked, and again, it's nice that it's not dependent on Shorekeeper. Jeja, Jeja's awesome. Really, really solid character. Her and Chikona are like the two characters I kind of underestimated very significantly. Obviously, amazing for Carlotta, amazing for Jinshi. Uh, You can build her to like maximize her coordinated attack damage, and it is very significant. But I think a lot of us just prefer her to be like a sub DPS. But an amazing character, very flexible. If you figure out like the jump canceling, you can really maximize her concerto very quickly. All in all, I still think she is a very solid SS hybrid character. Pretty much along the same lines, Chikona. I think Chikona is even like more flexible because Chikona can make Zani function really well because she is a good spectral frazzle applicator. Obviously, she's amazing for Cardathea. She ideally wants to be paired with Cardathea, but again, you can pair her with Phoebe to make Phoebe a spectro DPS. You can pair her with Zani. You could pair her with Cardathea. I really place a lot of value into characters that can be kind of interchanged in multiple different teams and facets and situations. So for me, I think Jacona is SS. Cardathea is as well. Arguably, her and Zani have kind of like taken the mantle for me, and Carlotta. Those are like my three. Honestly, I really like Camellia too. Sorry. Uh, but what's nice about Cardathea is that she can actually function very well with Senhua. I actually don't have Chikona right now, and I'm pretty frustrated about it because again, I kind of underestimated her. But Cardathea is awesome. I think she's SS, one of the best DPSs in the game. I think her team has very high damage potential, but like I said, you could still pair her with Senhua and do very respectable damage. Uh, yeah, Genshin, no, I mean, early on, sure, a little bit of role consolidation, a little bit of gather, a little bit of sustain, shield, AoE, what have you, but she gets outscaled so quickly. Like, I mean, she gets liberation with her outro, fine, but like, no. Can't recommend really investing into that character long term. Same with little Wolf Dog Boy. I know there's people that love him and can clear a lot of content in the game with him, but like if we're talking about Glacio DPSs, he's not even close to Carlotta. Like this is like Carlotta versus Lion Boy is like me and LeBron James. Like it's not close, gamers. Gion. I'm still gonna keep Gion in S. I think he's still one of the best characters for Wuwa. I don't like him for TOA per se. Like in the early floors of TOA, yeah, he stomps. But like against bosses, I think at like S0, it's just like the damage floor or the damage potential just really isn't there. I mean, if you have sequences for him, I think he does ramp up. You get the extra dash. I think it helps. But for me, I think he's comfortable in S. Maybe with the release of Iuno, he's kind of future proof. I mean, like the way Wuwa was trending, like he was definitely going down, and then Wiwa came out, and then he's like been kind of comfortably in S. I think kind of will keep him there, but I don't ever really see Gian becoming like the pinnacle DPS. I mean, he was the first banner character, and the fact that he's kind of still relevant is impressive. But for me, good grouping, good AoE. The fact that his best support right now is a 4-star in Murtefi is really nice. He's going to get another good heavy damage boosting character very shortly. So I think Gian is S, but I think he's much so on like the very low rung of S. Yinlin is A. I mean, she's got a lot of mitigating factors. Honestly, String Master is significantly better pull value than she is. Obviously, she has a little bit of future proofing with her outro and, boosting Electro characters, but I just don't know how viable that's going to be. We'll have to see. She's I do think she's kind of fun to play. Like, once you figure out her rotation, she has like a lot of quick swapping, which I think is kind of fun, but I just don't think her overall value is very high anymore. Same with Mr. Yao. I've been consistently having Mr. Yao. Man, I'm getting peppered by this ad, huh? But they really want me to buy a MacBook, huh? I consistently kind of had him in S, but I do think there's just so many more DPS characters in the game now. I still use him. Like when the TOA has electro damage boost, I'll still use him and Yinlin with Shorekeeper, and it's more than sufficient enough to clear. I do think his time stop is very helpful. Like again, I think for new gamers, he can be kind of quote unquote a cheat code just that while you're learning the combat, similar to like Carlotta. Like the fact that both these characters can freeze the enemies, I think is very helpful in a pinch and kind of get you out of sticky situation. But I do think kind of the Electro characters have fallen a smidge, if you will. Rocha Rocha is really interesting. Like I think she probably should be S. I really want to put her in A just because I don't think she has very good uh full priority. Like she used to be Camellia's, well, she still is arguably Camellia's best support, but like she is better than S6 Sanwa, but not by much. And the fact that it's that close for me just was like, like if it's like 2% better, like why am I gonna waste my Astrite? Like Astrite is an Astrite is an Astrite. But now that Forlova is out, like that's another character, another team that she fits seamlessly with. So, she's amazing for Wiwa because she has really good gather. For me, if she's S, she's like literally hanging on to the S ladder with like a pinky. But she's fine. Like I still think for Forlova, like I'd rather just do Forlova, Cantarella, and maybe like Havoc Rover or Shorekeeper, even though Shorekeeper is kind of redundant in that team. Just because like Rocha is like and she's like the most meh limited 5-star in Wuwa, but like she's fine. Like if you really want to maximize for Lova, technically you want Rocha. Senhua is back in the SS. I was absolutely snoozing when I put her in S on my last tier. Um, she's awesome. Best sub DPS in the game. Super fast rotation. Her explosion ice damage is crazy. Like she's amazing for Camellia. She's really solid for Carthea. Just the fact that she, again, characters that have outros that can be plug and played with future characters, regardless of like what element, like any character that's basic attack driven is gonna have Sanwa as an option as a support. And that's awesome. We like that. So again, we need more good 4-stars. I'm probably gonna make a video about this, but like we really only have like 2 elite 4-stars in Wuwa, and one of them was free, and the other one, you know, we probably have S20 by now. So she's top. She's top. She's top. She's top. Top. Denjin, super fun. Denjin is like unga bunga berserker. Like if you really, again, kind of like Mr. Calculator. Like if you're an expert of the combat, like better than me, like a lot better than me. She's super fun, but again, 4-star DPS doesn't have the damage threshold and potential is like the other 5-stars, but very fun. And you could still pair her with Havoc Rover. Like I said, you could technically use her as a third slot in Forlova's team. But yeah, she's solid. Like she was my first DPS. Really liked using her. It was the no risk it, no biscuit type of playstyle, which is really enjoyable. But she's a 4-star DPS, so she's comfortably in B. Alto is C. I really wanted Alto to see his day, and I really thought he might with the introduction of Arrow Erosion, but my guy just never really got his shine. I mean, he's cool, he's flashy. I like his animations, like creating the clones is cool, but like in practice, it's just not amazing. Chisha is a solid B. You can make an argument that she could like be better than Calcharo just because like she's a lot easier to use, and if you put Carlotta's weapon on her, pair her with Chen Li and Lupa, like she can do some really really respectable damage. But again, 4-star DPS. You know, how much do you want to invest into her knowing that, all the other 5 stars have so much higher damage ceilings? But again, she's solid. She's respectable. Tauchi, meh. I mean, Tauchi's saving grace is her assets and the fact that she can be, arguably Carlotta's second best support, but she's just really, really clunky. It doesn't feel great to use. She's like 3,000% worse Beto, in my opinion. But, you know, again, her outro gives skill. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of characters in the future that are, skill damage based. So we'll see. But she is comfortably in C, or Teffy is comfortably in S. My little dragon friend has been chilling with his man Gian. Yeah, what can I say? He'll probably move down to A when Yuno comes out, just because I imagine Yuno is just kind of gonna kind of become the pinnacle heavy damage boosting character. Although it could be a situation where it's kind of like Rocha versus Sanwa, like, you know. But I do think Yuno will have more full priority because she can heal, whereas Rocha is really just, you know, gather is important, but I think healing and being able to boost damage is more important. That's just my opinion. But Montevi, for right now, the day is August 23rd. He's still in this. Yuan Wu, nah. Kind of another meh character. I mean, he's got some sustain, he's got some coordinated attack. He looks cool. Like I've always enjoyed the Thunder Fist, but like, nah. Not a character. He was the first character I ever got S6, and I was like, okay, maybe I can build him. Nope, never did. Nope, never did. Baija, solid B. I mean, she's arguably, third, fourth best healer in the game. She's free. If you don't have Arena, if you don't have Shorekeeper, you can definitely build her up, and she can be a viable healer. Yoo-hoo, boo-hoo, sorry, always gonna be in C for me. I mean, I've seen Rexland do like crazy stuff with her, but again, I don't know. The gotcha mechanic built into her kit is just that's not for me. I don't really like the character design. I know this is just subjective, but not my favorite. Uh Mouse Girl, Lumi, again, another mech character. She's got a nice tail, I guess. But again, I don't know why I don't know. I don't really know why you would ever want to use this character unless you just want to run around with her and you think she's adorable. I don't think she has very good usability in the game. Uh, Yang Yang is cool, and I think that Yang Yang. This is a hot take. Maybe not a hot take. Spoiler. Not a spoiler. I don't know. I think she's gonna be a 5-star. I always thought that Yang Yang had so much potential, and the fact that she is the figurehead for the game's uh like app is kind of interesting. Like, why isn't it a rover? So I'm almost wondering if Wuwa goes on the path of like Honkai Star Rail and like elevating 4 stars. And if they do, I think she'll be I think she'd be the queen of that. But all in all, she's fine. Really good for Wiwa because she has pretty good grouping. But again, 4-star character that we get for free really gets kind of outscaled very, very early in the game. Spectro Rover. Honestly, all the rovers are very solid A's. Um, you know, Havoc Rover is a really solid DPS. Arrow and Spectro have good sustain. You can pair Spectro with Peeves and Zani and heal. Like I said, sustain. Arrow Rover is really good for arrow erosion. Pairs really well with Cardathea. Can heal as well. So I think the main character, the MC, is a very solidly in A. They used to be higher, but we our roster is actually becoming pretty robust. So I think they're very, very comfortably in A, and I'm really curious to see how the future elements of the rover will will hang. But I imagine they'll probably all be pretty solid. But that's pretty much it, gamers. I think this is my list. I know I'm gonna get roasted for a lot of characters in SS, but I genuinely think all these characters are top tier. Even the characters in S, I think you can make arguments that they have situations and nuances where they could be an SS themselves. But I'm pretty comfortable with this tier list. But I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get roasted. But that's the fun of it. But let me know what you think. How'd I do? And also let me know who you're summoning for in 2.6. We got Augusta and Iuno. I'm pretty sure they're going to be in the high tiers as new characters for Wuwa usually are. But as always, I appreciate y'all so much. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.